351-6222. That's at iseek.org. So you can ask your questions now. Can everybody hear me? Hello? I believe the first question somebody asked was, I had said in one of the videos that my brother had got murdered years ago. And they were asking, was I able to see him in the astral plane? The astral plane is a vast region. And yes, I went into the astral plane. I did not see my brother. And I talked to my teacher, and he said he would reincarnate in your family again. So I said, okay. Any other questions? The next question is, what should I recommend on how we can meet a living spiritual master who can guide us on the path to enlightenment? The most difficult thing in the world is to meet a spiritual master. And the best way is to intensify your seeking. If you seek intensely, the universe, or you can say the Creator, will arrange for you to meet one. But it takes many lifetimes. Most of us are caught up in the material world, trying to get houses, cars, trying to get an education, trying to go to work. And we do not have the attention to put in an insane way. So it takes several lifetimes to give up on this material acquisition tendency and seek. And you will meet a teacher. Even if the teacher can take you to the astral plane, follow him. And there are teachers at higher levels. And if you need a teacher at a higher level, keep seeking. The Creator will arrange for you to meet the perfect living teacher. I hope that answers your question. The next question is, when you meditate, can you see your teacher? Yes, if he permits you to see him. The teacher has control over all your spiritual experiences, and he knows what's best. You can't see him if he permits you. Otherwise, you can sit in meditation and keep trying until he gives his permission. Next question. What is the biggest difference in your life now since before the NDE? Biggest difference in my life now is that I'm experiencing so much happiness and joy and tremendous flooding of knowledge and love. That's the biggest difference that has taken place in my life. If anybody got any more questions, please submit them at this time. Otherwise, like I said earlier, you can call that number and leave a message, and I guarantee you I will contact you if you leave your phone number and your name. Okay, the next question. The question says, how would you react if the most mythical figure of the last 2,000 years was dethroned? If you got presented with 100% evidence that the master of all master wasn't a master? That's what you're trying to say in this question? I'm having difficulty understanding that question. I wish you would rephrase it. Okay, is the astral body our soul? No. The astral body is a covering. It's a suit, a garment that you're wearing. Just like you're wearing this physical body, that's not you. The astral body is the next stage, is also a garment. And then you have another garment in which you're wearing, which we call a mental body. These three bodies got you entrapped in these three levels of consciousness. And there's no way to escape unless you meet somebody above that stage. And the seeking has to be intensified. As a matter of fact, my teacher said, if I spend my whole life satisfying my intellect, since I was very curious, he said, Professor, if you spend your whole life satisfying your intellect, it is time gained and not time lost. The soul is above the mental body. That's where self-realization takes place. We are on Earth, and somebody's asking, we go through several reincarnational experiences. We can change sex, we can change race, we can change status, and these changes on Earth is caused by the karma that we have stored in our spiritual bank account. And every human being that's born is born with good and bad karma. And you have to go through this experience. Okay, I believe another question is coming in from Tyler. Why did we come to this planet? Just to suffer? Oh, that's a very, very beautiful question, Tyler. Suffering is what motivates you to seek higher awareness. Otherwise, you'll just stay in this land like the animals. Play, eat, make merry, have children, build houses. Suffering makes you look for your real self. So suffering plays a major role. Now, there's another person asking. His name is Daniel. He says, does hell exist on the other side? Yes. All of the heavens and hells exist in the astral plane. And they are temporary experiences. Heaven is a temporary experience, as well as hell. Hell is like a reformatory, where you have to learn to improve yourself when you become a human being. You suffer. Socrates, the great spiritual mystic who lived in Greece in the 400 BC, he said, pain and pleasure, or suffering and pain, whatever, they're connected. like Siamese twin at the head. So if you pursue pleasure, ultimately pain will come and pull you in the other direction. Pleasure makes your awareness get less and less and less. Pain increases awareness, increases your desire to seek higher knowledge. Here's another question. Have I had other out-of-body experiences? If so, how did you do it? Like I said earlier, all the experiences I had out of the body was with the help and the permission of my teacher. Until you've crossed the higher region, the highest region, then you have control over these experiences. Just like you have the illusion you got control in this world, you have no control. You have the feeling you got control. You don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen to you next year. But the creator who wrote this script knows exactly what you're going to do tomorrow in the next 10 years if you're here. How many marriages you're going to have, how many children you're going to have. He knows or she knows everything. But he created a wonderful feeling of illusion of free will. And that's the feeling of free will is what makes us seek. Any more questions out there? Tracy asked, what are the Akashic records and what do they mean? The Akashic records is a record of your karmic experiences that you have to have. When you go to the astral world, you can see a portion of the Akashic records. You can't see them all. And you can go back into the Akashic records and see how many lives you've had and how they connected with your present life. And you can travel a little bit into the future. Depends on your concentration of attention. Attention is the most powerful force in this human body. The attention is extremely powerful, and the only thing that's more powerful than the attention is God himself or herself. So you can travel into the astral world and see many of your lives and see why you had to be born mentally retarded, blind, wealthy, black, white, male, female. All of this is there. And there are lessons to be learned. If you go higher up into the causal plane, then you can see all of the Akashic records, not only of yourself, but of everybody, every life, every species that has ever existed. That's the total Akashic records are in the causal plane. I hope I've answered that question. Somebody's asking me another question. You mentioned in the past interview about a strange sound you heard during your NDE experience. Do you know what it is? I've heard that from other people who have had NDEs. Unless you go high up. Let me just explain these sounds. If you're meditating, the first sound that you can hear can be like crickets that you hear at nighttime, or electricity going through a wire, or if you put your TV on this between the station, it's like static electricity. That sound can evolve as you concentrate your attention. It can turn into a bell sound. That bell sound is what sucks you out of the body like a vacuum cleaner and take you into the astral plane. Each region is created by this sound. This sound is actually God vibrating at all of the levels of consciousness, creating all of the worlds, all of the regions, all of the species. And the only thing you have available is your attention. And your attention, if you put your attention on these sounds, with the help of your teacher, you can go higher up. The causal plane has a trumpet-like sound. And you go higher up, the sounds can turn into different kinds of music. And there's music that's flowing down. It's like if you take water and it flows over rocks, it creates a certain kind of sound. If the water is flowing over grass, it takes on a lesser turbulent sound. If it's flowing over a smoother surface, it can take on a different sound. But it's really one sound. In the Bible, they talk about this sound. All of the religious teachers and founders talk about this sound being the creator. In John, in the Bible, chapter 1, verse 1 through 3. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. They're not talking about a written word. They're talking about a sound. This written word can't create anything. It can't create stars and galaxies and moons and people and species. Only God can create that. And you are a miniaturized expression, a miniaturized form of God. In Psalms, chapter 82, verse 6, it says, "Ye are all gods," which means we are a seed form of God. And a seed is real small. An oak tree, if you get an oak seed, it's real small, but it can grow after it's fertilized with water and with the right environment. It can become a huge, gigantic tree. We can become huge and ultimately become God with the proper fertilization and the proper association with a highly advanced being. Hell is everywhere. You can go to jail and you can be in solitary confinement. That's the worst kind of hell a person can experience. Solitary confinement. That's when the mind will start attacking you. Could it be hell in this plane? Because there is extreme suffering here. Yes, there is extreme suffering. There are levels of suffering. When a person gets married, they're happy. You can say they experience heaven there. A newborn child, they're happy. They get a new job, they're happy. But if they lose their job, lose their houses, get divorced, or their children act crazy, then they go into a hellish type of mindset. And that mindset can make them look for something higher if they get the right guidance. So I see that people are asking very good questions. So continue to ask. I'd like to say I thank you for sharing with us today. I'm so happy to meet you since watching the first video on the NDE experience. I was blown away by the counterfeit God concept and all of the existing levels. This person said they were blown away. I too was blown away. So I'm glad that you were blown away. What is a counterfeit God? Everything in the physical world got counterfeit expressions of itself. From money to books to paintings, everything in the physical world got a counterfeit. And there are levels of counterfeit. Also in the astral plane, you got counterfeit beings, administrators that run that world. They got so much power that you can think that they God. They're not God. They're just administrators occupying a particular position for a certain amount of time. You go to the causal plane. You got super gods, great power, and they control all the akashic records. What kind of bodies you'll be born in, how much money you're going to make. All of these levels got different counterfeit God. But the real God is above that stage. You got to go to the highest level of consciousness and meet the real God. But you need a guide because you won't know the difference. If somebody give you a counterfeit dollar or counterfeit $100 bill, you wouldn't know the difference. You have to show it to an expert. A counterfeit piece of art, people pass on, and it's hard to tell the difference. You have to meet an art expert. Same thing with spirituality. So if you got the guidance of a perfect living master, he can take you all the way back and can help you steer yourself away from these counterfeit expressions of God. Now, this is a strange question. Are your lives pre-written or pre-scripted? Or do we have free will? No, you don't have free will. You have the illusion of free will. God, when he takes on a human body and come into this world, he will allow your free will to operate. He'll let you kill him. He'll go to that extent of not interfering with your free will, because your free will is necessary for you to seek. So seek. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. All you can do is seek. And you should seek intensely. So continue to go on YouTube, look at different talks about different teachers. And if you wish to contact me, like I said, give me a call. And my staff will give me your number and your name, and I definitely will give you a call back. Another person asking, who was your teacher? What you say meet you in the astral plane? My teacher was 𝐄𝐦𝐚𝐢𝐥, P-U-R-I. He was a disciple of the great master, 𝐄𝐦𝐚𝐢𝐥 Maharaj. All disciples have to come in contact with a teacher. The first teacher we normally come in contact with is our mother. She teaches us how to change our clothes, how to sit on the potty, how not to touch the stove and get burnt. She's our protector. And when we go to church or to some mosque, we develop teachers who have studied holy books and scriptures. And then we advance from that to spiritual practitioners who know how to go inside this body. That's how the system works. There's another person asking a question. I believe her name is Ann. Is the astral plane our final home? If so, why do we have to come back to Earth? That's a very interesting question. The astral plane is the first spiritual stage. It's like the kindergarten in the spiritual world. But when you go there, you think that's the highest, because all these regions are structured in such a way that you feel it's the highest. And you only can go as high as your teacher has gone. So you go there, come back, and you keep revolving in this vicious cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. And your seeking will eventually arrive you at a point where you'll meet somebody who can take you higher and higher and higher until you all the way go, until you return back to your original home. There's another person, Lucas. It is mentioned that there are different worlds, different realms of consciousness. Yes. Do you die in each one of the one to advance? Let me give you an description. When you go to sleep at night, you dream for about 8 hours. You see all kinds of experiences there. You can look in the sky and see stars at night. You can see people working on the streets. Some of them digging up ditches. Some of them are working on new houses. You can see a man at the bottom, a young man passing bricks up to an older man at the top. You can see old cars, new cars. You can see policemen controlling traffic. And everything looks real. You can even go in a restaurant and order some food and get you something to drink. And it tastes exactly like it does in the physical world. But the qualitative difference is different here. So when you die, which means when you wake up, because dying is nothing but waking up from one level to another. So let's change that to waking up. When you wake up from a dream, you come back immediately to the physical body. You don't have to open up your eyes. You don't have to pinch yourself. You know you are awake because your memory comes back as to how old you are. If you're 16 or 25 or 60, you have the whole memory of that age frame. And nobody can make you doubt it. Similarly, when you leave this world, the physical world, and wake up to the astral world, your memory comes back of what you were prior to wakening up there. The average lifespan in the astral world is 3,000 to 4,000 years of age. So nobody can make you doubt your memory. That's why you know that world is higher. Memory is the identification, is the identity of who you are at that stage. You can go to the causal world and millions of years of memory come back. And you can go back, you can go beyond that, and then you discover your soul, which is in a timeless area. That's where the salvation region exists, above the causal and mental world. So I hope I've answered your question. Next question, is it safe to go in and out of the body on your own? I would recommend that you don't. Because what if you go out and start traveling and somebody come and cut your silver cord? You can't get back in the body. Or what if you go to an area in space and you don't know how to get back on Earth? Because there's so many planets. Go with a guide. One mystic said, find yourself a mystic guide, for beset with danger is the inner journey. Whosoever without a perfect master ventures upon the path, the evil ones lead him astray and cast them into the well. If over thy head thou hast not got a perfect master, you will keep roaming in this cycle of birth and death. Beware. Do not go on this path by yourself. I think that was Buddha Shah who said that. He was a perfect master. How are we to progress if we keep forgetting our previous lives every time we reincarnate? We have subtle memory. There are children born in this world with full memory of who they were in a previous life or in a life before that life. But you have subtle memory in the form of deja vu. Deja vu will make you, without you knowing it, do certain things if you learn certain lessons. There was an article I read in the Chicago Sun-Times years ago where this person, he was about 17, he worked in a movie house. And when he was cleaning up the aisles, he saw a bag. And the bag had, I think, about $9,000 in it with a deposit ticket to one of the banks. So he took the money. He could have kept it, but he took it and gave it to his manager, his boss. He had learned the principle of honesty. He doesn't know why. Most of us will keep the money, right? So he learned the lesson without realizing he had learned it. So we learn lessons like that. We learn not to kill. We learn not to eat animals. So many lessons we learn. We have to keep reincarnating in order to make spiritual progress. Spiritual progress comes from compassion. Be compassionate, and you can learn these lessons. How do we find a perfect living master? More difficult thing in the world. More difficult than trying to get 20 or 30 PhD in this lifetime. It's not up to you. Christ says in the Bible, John 15 chapter, 16 verse, I have chosen you. You've not chosen me. You have been anointed by me to go out and bear fruits. He put emphasis on I have chosen you. And you have to meet a master to choose you. You can't choose them. When the chela is ready, the guru appears. That's an Indian phrase. When the disciple is ready, the teacher will appear. How did you find your teacher? coincidence, luck, lottery ticket. I went and paid, just like you take a dollar and put it on a lottery ticket. You don't know if you're going to win anything. Most likely you're thinking you're not. I won my lottery ticket and met him by coincidence in India. I guess people are still asking this question. Please explain the illusion of free will, that God will allow free will. It's an easy concept, but extremely difficult. No matter how much attention you put on free will, you'll always feel you got it in the physical body. But if you think deeply, I don't know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. I can get hit by a car. I can become paralyzed. I can get shot. I can end up in the hospital. Only God knows that. Because he has shut down your knowledge of what's going to happen in the future, you have the feeling you can do something. You can feel you can kill God. He will allow you to kill him. That's how far he goes into allowing you to have your free will. The angels do not have free will. When you go to the astral plane, your free will disappears. You get knowledge then about what's going to happen, and the free will disappears as you go higher and higher up until you get back to your original home where the Creator lives. Another question about free will. Why do we experience free will? You say it is not real. We experience it because the human being is the only living form, only living being that can seek God. This free will should be used in that direction. Even though it's not real, if God becomes a human being, you can say, let me get on the plane and go see him. Let me go here and chase him down. That's how free will should be used. The angels cannot do that. They don't have any free will. Okay, there's another question coming. Is God good or evil? That's a difficult question. Heather is asking me. Let me quote Shakespeare. Shakespeare says this world is a stage, and we all actors in this stage. You got antagonists and you have protagonists, heroes and what looks like evil people. You can say God is both. He's neither evil nor good. He has created this drama and made some people good, some people evil, so he can enjoy his movie. Just like you go to the movie, you see actors acting a certain part, and you have good and evil, crooks, heroes. So God has created all of his species, especially the human being, to have good qualities and bad qualities. But these qualities don't define their soul. If they go up to the soul region, they discover that they're neither good nor bad. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, another person. In a past interview, his name is Garcia, you mentioned life is a dream within a dream. What did you mean? When we go to sleep, we dream, and we think everybody's in the dream is real. Some people have had a dream inside of a dream while they're dreaming. That rarely happens, but some people have written me, said they had a dream, and it was very lucid. Then they went and got in the bed in the dream world and had another dream. Then they woke up, and they thought they were really woke up. And then they woke up again, and they were in the physical body. You can wake up from this physical body to the astral world. That's a dream. You're dreaming. You're sleeping in the astral world right now. You're also sleeping in the causal world. Everything is a dream inside of a dream. That's how the Lord is creating everything. And we do the same thing when we go to sleep. So it looks like there's another question. I guess we're getting to the end. Could I be your teacher? Anybody who asks that question, give me a call, 833-351-6222. I'd rather talk to you in person. And if you leave a message and your phone number, I promise you I will get back with you as soon as possible. Thank you. Do you think God could be a photon? Photon is light. God can be anything. But basically, when you go to the astral region, he'll take on the human form. And he'll be full of light. Everybody in the astral plane is full of light. Bright light. So you can say God is light. As a matter of fact, this universe, Big Bang, first thing they saw was light. Huge explosion in light. And then it solidified and became matter as time went on. So even matter is nothing but solidified light. What and where is God? God is sitting right inside your body behind these 2 eyes, maybe 2 inches. And he's looking out at you and everything in this world. And he has a special seat. You call it the third eye center, the pineal gland. And if you can go there, you can sit and watch this world like he's watching it. And this world become a movie, a play. Because we are a miniaturized expression of God. We are God, actually, miniaturized, small form of God. God is inside the body. In Luke 17:21, the kingdom of heaven is within us. That's what it says. All these holy books talk about that. All the holy founders talk about the Creator is hiding inside the consciousness of us. The Creator is playing this hiding and seek game. And if you seek, you will find Him. Angels, do they still feel emotion? Yeah, they can feel emotion. Nothing wrong with feeling emotion. We feel it here. Does God have a creator? That's a problem. God has a problem. My teacher told me, God cannot create another being. He only can create illusions of himself. And he can't create another being. So he doesn't have another creator. Any other questions? God does not have a creator, no. Did you see Jesus or God in any of your experiences? When you go into the astral world, those who happen to go there through clinical death or by accident, you see beautiful beings, many of them will have beards and they have a different beautiful color. Ask them who they are. That's a vast world. You don't know who they are. You may think they Jesus. You may think they Buddha. You may think they Laothus. You don't know. Ask them. I only put my attention on my teacher when I was there. I saw all these other beings. They look real. I could have asked him to show me Jesus, but I was only concerned with my teacher because I lost my free will, and the love kept me focusing upon him. Any other questions? Do you believe in the soul trap? The soul are trapped in a cycle of rebirth. If so, how do we escape? I think I answered that question already. You can only escape with the help of someone who has gotten out of this trap. Physical body, astral body, causal body. All of these bodies are within the physical body, and they keep us from going back to our real self, which is the soul. And that's where salvation takes place. You rise above karma when you go into the third region, above the mind. The next question, how do you properly meditate? All those who are asking that question, give me a call, and I'll talk to you personally about that. 833-351-6222. Leave your name and phone number, and I promise you I will give you a call. Sometimes my staff will answer the phone, but if they don't answer, you just put your message, and I'll get back with you. Next question is, somebody's asking, I wonder why we have karma. Then if these aren't really our choices, why should we be held accountable? You feel you can make a choice. You can say, I'm going to go shoot somebody tomorrow. If you shoot somebody in this world, the police can come and lock you up. Even though you don't have free will, you feel you have free will. Your emotion can take the better of you. And your anger can make you do things. But you will be held accountable. And that's when you learn the lesson. So, we came to this world to learn a lesson. And if you want further clarification, please give me a call. The next question is why, sir, do you advocate for plant-based diet? Is it necessary to be a vegan? It's necessary for you to eat plant-based food. And if you go on our website, you will come across a book. It's entitled The Food of Geniuses. And it goes into detail of how meditation can be affected by eating certain foods. And anything that runs away from you, you should not eat. Or swims away from you, you should not eat. You're made to be a vegetarian. Very little difference between a vegetarian and a vegan. These are technical terms. And your body is made to eat nonviolent food because you're a nonviolent species. You sweat through your skin like the horses and cows and the sheep. You got flat teeth just like the horses and cows and the sheep. And the animals that eat meat, tigers, wolves, lions, cats, dogs, they all sweat through the tongue. And they have sharp razor-like teeth or scissor-like teeth for killing. They can go kill an animal and eat it. Hair, bone, blood, everything, and they won't vomit. We're not made like that. We're made to eat all of the plants, fruits, apples, peas, corn, watermelon, cantaloupes. And by eating plant-based food and not wanting to eat animals, your compassion will develop and get intensified, because the Creator is extremely compassionate. But if you eat animal food, it can reduce some of your compassion and make you become cold. But it's a slow process. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. Do animals have a soul? That's the next question. What is a soul? Most people don't know what a soul is. The soul is the thing which makes you conscious. Consciousness is in a roach, it's in a fly, it's in a bird, it's in a dog. All of these things got life in them, and that life is what makes them conscious. They can experience pain, they can experience pleasure, and that is the soul. The soul is the consciousness. That's a better term that makes it easy for you to understand that anything that got consciousness and life in it, the consciousness is the soul. And when the person or that thing dies, the consciousness leaves and takes on another form. God is saying, this question is, how did God come to be? What is consciousness? God is total consciousness. He's always existed. Our mind cannot understand that. You'll never be able to understand it. God has always been, always will be, and it always existed. And we are like that too. We're immortal. You can't kill yourself. You can try to commit suicide. All you do is change form. You go to a reformatory school in the astral world or in the hells, then you come back. You can't kill yourself. You cannot extinguish yourself. Now this question, the Bible says it is assigned once for a man to die, then how do we have more than one lifetime? If you were to read Tom Schroeder, Schroeder, he wrote a book, Old Souls. And in that book, he quotes Ivan Stevenson, who did research on children who had specific memory of previous lives. With evidence, not just memory, but the evidence lines up with the memory. So there are certain books you can read. Brian Weiss, W-E-I-S-S, he wrote a book, Many Lives, Many Masters. Helen Wambach, W-A-M-B-A-C-H, she wrote a book, Reliving Past Lives. Get some of these books and you start getting information on people who have studied individuals that have come up with strange evidence, scientific evidence of people remembering their past lives. The next question, is religion deceptive? Religion plays a double role. It helps you understand to some extent the seeking, but at the same time it can confuse you. It's like if you had someone in your family who was sick and needs some type of operation on their heart. Let's say that's your mother. And you went and met two doctors. One graduated at the top of his class at the best medical university in America or in the world. But that person never operated on the heart. And then you got another doctor who had over 300 different successful cardiological operations. But that person only went to a low-level college, medical school. You won't have difficulty making a decision which one you would go to. You would go to the one with experience in cardiology and cardiological operation. So religion only can take us to a certain stage. We have to graduate from all religion because there are many religions in this world. And all of them play a role. As you evolve and get away from all these religions and intensify your seeking, which some of you are doing on YouTube, you start thinking about having out-of-body experiences. You want to have something real. Nothing wrong with that. So religion plays, you can say, a positive role as well as a deceptive role. If you get locked into it, then you're being deceived because you become a fanatic. Is hell real? Yes. Hell is real. And how does one end up there? All you got to do is go kill somebody, shoot people, hurt their feelings. You can hurt animals too, and you can go there. But it's temporary experience. It's like a reformatory for you to improve yourself. Karma. Karma is 3 types of karma in this world. You got faith karma, that's the karma in which you're born with. Then you got karma based on decision making. That's decision making karma. That creates new karma when you make decision. And then you got stored up karma. The stored up karma is in a bank account, a huge, gargantuanly large bank account of many, many, many lives, thousands of lifetimes of karma are in that bank account. And whenever you become in the physical world, whether an animal or a human being, you pick up a certain amount of karma. A human being pick up good and bad karma. And the animals, they don't make decisions. They operate out of instinct. So as you're a human being, you can create a lot of karma in one lifetime. Some people get into the army and they just shoot people blindly and kill thousands of people foolishly. They're creating a lot of karma and they have to pay for that. So be careful how you make your decision and take your attention and seek. I guess I'm looking to see if there are any other questions. We look like we're running out of questions. I see another question coming in. What is the purpose of human life on earth? The purpose is to seek your maker, to seek your creator. That's the primary purpose. Who are we? We are a miniature form of God, a small seed, expression of God. Is there boredom on the afterlife? The afterlife has nothing but joyous experiences in the astral plane. There's no boredom there. You enjoy every minute being in that world. This world got moments of boredom and moments of happiness. Boredom is a form of pain. In order to get out of it, you have to seek. There's no way to get out of it. There's another way. If you associate with happy people that have more knowledge than yourself and ask them questions, you can pick up a strange type of joy from them. It's like a spiritual contamination that can infect you without you knowing it. And some of your depression and unhappiness can disappear with association. I'm hoping there's some other question, but I don't see any more. So if we don't have any more, let's end this stream session now. And like I said, give me a call if you have other questions that come in your mind. And I will guarantee you I will get back with you. Thank you. See you soon on our next live streaming. Thank you.